And the security expert Akinola Olojo joins us now to speak on this security issue. Now, talk to us about the war against insurgents. In your own view, how do you see this war? Are we doing very well, or are we not living up to expectation?
Thank you for having me. When we look at what is happening in the northwest in Zamfara state and even in neighboring Sokoto state, I mean, these are very serious issues. We've seen the Nigerian army, the government in general, responding to this, but then a lot of work still needs to be done. And if you look at the broader picture of insecurity, looking also at places like Adamawa State, in late March, early April, we saw attacks by Boko Haram in places like Michika and Madagali. In Chibok, in Borno State, there were also attacks there. In Yobe State, just a few days ago, there were attacks. There was a major one on Tuesday, which occurred in Damaturu. But of course, we also saw not just violence taking place in the northeast, but a combination of propaganda. We know that terrorism, for instance, it involves not just causing attacks, but also using propaganda and exploiting it, to the maximum. And we've also seen, of course, a recent video, circulated by the Islamic State West Africa province, which is the breakaway faction of Boko Haram. And, the video clearly showing that, the faction is very much around and also trying to reinforce its alignment with, the so-called Islamic states.
All right, you talked about the fact that this war is a combination of propaganda as well. Is it bad to use propaganda in this war against insurgency?
Well, terrorism, as I mentioned earlier, uses violence and propaganda. The kind of messaging which goes out, and not just, the fact that attacks take place, is very key in the kind of strategy which they adopt. So likewise, any counterterrorism approach or, policy option, by the government or by governments in general needs to take this into consideration. And we've seen that, put into great use by the army. The Nigerian military has also been trying to, keep a very close eye on what the media as well puts out there. The Nigerian army has tried to see how, even issues of casualties being published and how that also reinforces the narrative of the groups is, sort of, would I say maybe controlled, quote and unquote. But then there's another side to this. When you try to, control the release of, such information, in an attempt to have, control on propaganda, then of course it also has implications for the, the free press, which is also very important. So I would say there are two sides to this. It's like a double-edged sword. It's important to consider this, the use of propaganda, but at the same time, the implications of controlling it is also very important.
Akinola Olojo, thank you very much for talking to us on this issue.